All right. All right, so if you all just want to find that comfortable seat to begin today, just kind of move, wiggle around however you need to get situated. And then whenever that feels good, you're satisfied with your position, you can go ahead and close your eyes, placing either palms down, face down on top of your knees, or you can have palms face up. So sitting here in an alert position, but trying to also feel some rest. So releasing the shoulders away from the ears is a good starting point. Releasing the tension in the neck, the muscles in the face. And then just coming into your breath. Inhaling through the nose for a count of 3 or 4. Exhaling maybe for a count of 4 or 5 or more. As you stay here with this cleansing breath, think about exhale, releasing any of that stale air that's been in your lungs for too long. And inhaling, bringing in fresh and new air. And today, as we focus on cleansing our ability to stay in the present moment, I invite you to keep that attention there. So if you feel yourself drifting at any point, come back to this deep cleansing breath. So thinking about counting the inhales and releasing the exhales for a little bit longer than the inhale. And as you stay here, I'm just going to invite you to hear these words from Krishnamurti. I enter fully into each experience, and I come out fully from each of them too. I put the whole of me in all I do, and out of all I do. I enter fully into each experience, and I come out fully from each of them too. I put the whole of me in all I do, and out of all I do. I think there's a lot of wisdom there because we not only need to try to stay present right now, entering this moment, but sometimes we have to exit a space beforehand. And that's really important to be able to create those boundaries for ourselves because we do have to do hard and stressful things at times. And then being able to exit that and come into something else is really important. As you're ready, just bow your head, drop the chin towards the chest, lengthening through the back of the neck. And if you want, you can bring that left ear towards the left shoulder, stretching through the right side of the neck. Exhale, dropping through center. And then inhaling over towards the right. Back and forth a couple of times here. Keep your shoulders falling towards the floor. And then as you're ready, big inhale, come back through center, lift the arms up overhead, stretch, reach and lengthen. And on your exhale, you're just gonna bring your hands behind you a little bit, bring your elbows back towards each other, open up the chest. Inhale, reach and lengthen. So it feels kind of awkward, but it's really good opener. Exhale, open up, look up and back. Inhale, reach and lengthen. Try to grow an inch taller. Exhale, open. One more here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, twist. Right hand behind the back. Left hand to that right knee and look over the right shoulder. Inhale, come back through center, reach and lengthen. And exhale over towards the opposite side. Inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, switch the cross of the legs, hinge from the hips and come forward and down. Go as far as you can. Reach to the crown of the head, the fingertips to the floor, forehead towards the floor. Press the hips back and crawl the fingertips forward. And then as you're ready, you can slowly walk your hands back up towards your body. Let's roll over onto the hands and the knees from here, and we're just gonna come up onto the knees. So from this position, you can either have your toes curled under, or you can have your feet flat. It's really whatever you prefer. But we're gonna come to sit down on the backs of our feet and our ankles. For this position, we're gonna take that right arm, that right hand, and just bring it behind the back. So the top of the hand is flat on the back. And then we're gonna take that right hand and the left hand and bring it over the chest. So the opposite hand, just bring it over the chest. Good. And then what I want you to do is begin to lean the left ear towards the left shoulder. And then once you lean there, then look up. It's a really good stretch. Really important when we're on our computer so much to get that neck mobility. Couple breaths. And then gently, you can bring that gaze back down and then lift the head back up. We'll switch sides here. We'll bring that left arm or whatever arm you didn't do yet behind the back. The top of the hand is flat on the back if you can make it. We'll cross that other arm across the chest and then right ear towards right shoulder. Just over to the side first and then you can look up. One more breath here. And then untwist the neck, come back through center. Let's roll over onto our hands and our knees and float through a few rounds of just an easy cat-cow here. Drop the belly down, inhale, look up. Exhale, round the spine, squeeze the core, look between the legs. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, round and squeeze. Did it a few times here. One more. We'll come back to tabletop. Inhale, right arm lifts towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left arm, lay on that right shoulder and the right side of the face. Just like gravity, pull you deeper here, trying to release. Inhale, press into that left hand, lift and lengthen right fingertips back towards the ceiling. And exhale, neutral tabletop. Opposite side, inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, reach and thread that left arm underneath the right, laying on that left shoulder, left side of the face. Couple breaths. And inhale, reach and lengthen, come back through center. And exhale, release. Keep the hips in line with the knees here. Just walk the hands forward for puppy pose. Drop the chest towards the floor. It's kind of an uncomfortable position. You're thinking about stretching through the space of the armpits in that upper body. If you're able, you can bring the chin to the floor. If that feels extremely uncomfortable, just bring the forehead to the floor. Okay, from this position, just lift your head up slightly, look towards the top of the mat, and see if you can just slide that chest forward, coming into Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose is, you want the shoulder and that elbow in line, palms of the hands press onto the mat, tops of the feet are on the mat, and you're lifting that belly button off the floor, looking up towards the sky. Drawing the tops of the shoulders back, trying to open up to the heart space, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, slowly release. Bring the hands back further, closer to the rib cage. Curl under the toes, and then big press up, plank pose. And then once you're in plank, exhale, downward facing dog. It's our first downward facing dog, so let's just take our time and pedal our feet out here. Drop one heel down and then the other. Maybe even swaying your hips side to side a few times. You can even lift one leg and then the other, if that's in your practice. And then slowly take your hands and try to lightly walk them back towards your feet. Release the upper body over the legs, slight bend in the knees, and just hang out here in a forward fold, maybe sway a few times. You can shake out your head. Inhale, we'll lift up halfway for a flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Sweep those arms all the way up. Palms touch. If you want to take a slight back bend, think about pressing the hip bones forward, opening up through the heart, and looking back towards the wall behind you. Inhale to lift back through center. And exhale, hands to heart center. Great. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Let's do that again. Inhale, halfway lift. And just pause here, either fingertips on blocks or fingertips to shins. Think about leaning that weight forward here, so you have barely any weight in your heels. If you feel comfortable there, make sure your back is strong and firm. Maybe you bring your hands to either side of your head. Think about creating this flat tabletop. If you still feel strong there, then reach those arms out in front of you. Engage your core, belly button up towards your spine. One more inhale. Exhale, release, forward fold. Begin to walk your hands back forward, come back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring those right toes back down. We're just gonna do some lifts here. Inhale, right leg lifts back up. Exhale, lower. So just tapping down and up. Inhale, you rise. Exhale, you bring down. So try to do this with control. Each time you lift up that right heel, you're trying to create more length. One more time. Then look to the top of your mat. Bring that right knee towards that right tricep. Inhale, lift back up, three-legged dog. Exhale, look between the hands and step that right foot. Hang out here for just a couple of moments in this low lunge. Kind of working out any of those sticky places, maybe shifting that weight forward and back a few times. And then dropping the left knee. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, a similar thing as we did before. Bring those elbows behind your body, open up the chest, look up and back. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, open. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, open. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale through center. Exhale, hands down. Let's straighten the right leg for a half split. Do your best to keep your hips square to the top of the mat. So it's okay if you can't reach very far down. That's perfectly fine. And then we'll bend back into that right knee. We'll frame that foot with both hands. Inhale, left knee lifts. Exhale, step back to plank. From plank, you can either lower to your knees here or stay up on your feet. But we're going to try to lower all the way down to the mat as slowly as possible. Okay, so elbows in tight, slowly come down. Release all the way onto the mat. Tops of the feet come flat on the mat. Slide the hands back slightly. Pull the elbows in towards each other, towards the center of the body. And inhale, begin to lengthen through that spine, lift up the chest, and you can start to straighten the arms. We're just keeping the tops of the legs on the mat for right now, focusing on the length of the spine. And then exhale, gently come down. Curl the toes under, press all the way up, plank. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, gently, slowly tap it back down. Same thing, inhale, lifting that leg up. And exhale, tapping down. You can try as you do this to bring that right heel closer to the floor. That'll increase the stretch along the back side of that supporting leg. Last time. And then look to the top of the mat, left knee towards that left tricep. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, knee through center, and step that left foot. Hang out here for a moment, get rid of those sticky spots, lean forward and back. Joining breath to movement can really help us stay here in the now, in the present. We'll drop that right knee down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, spread the elbows apart, open up the heart. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, open. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back through center. Exhale, half split, straighten that left leg as the hands come down. Whatever leg's in front, opposite side. If they have a continuing education workshop on how, as a yoga instructor, to keep your right and left straight, I need to take that class. It's so hard for me and I don't understand why. Oh, thank you for hanging in there with me through it. Couple more breaths here. Let's bend back into that front knee. We'll frame that foot with both hands. Inhale, back knee lifts. Exhale, downward facing dog. Begin to walk your hands back towards your feet, coming back to that forward facing fold. And you might notice that you can go a little bit deeper now. Maybe you can reach the crown of the head closer towards the floor. Maybe you even want to wrap your hands behind your legs, grabbing on for elbows to help guide your chest towards your thighs. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Sweep all the way up. Let's do a little bit of a reverse here. Reach those arms back up. Press the hips forward, little back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now take a side stretch here for half moon. It's weird. There's two different things that are called half moon in yoga, and one of them is called the side stretch. So inhale, reach the arms up. Grab a hold of that right wrist. Exhale, lean over towards the left. As you do so, think about lengthening through the arms first and then reaching over. So it's first important that you get the length in the spine. And if you do that, you should feel stretch from the whole entire right side. It's very intense. Inhale back through center. Other side. Lengthen through that spine first, and then lean over towards the other side. Maybe you look up and over that top arm. Inhale back through center. We're still at the back of our mat. We're going to bring those big toes together, heels slightly apart, and come into chair pose. From chair, really think about keeping that heart open. You can bring the hands to heart center if that's better for you. Or you can even try reverse prayer, bringing your hands behind your back in a prayer position. Whatever is best for you and your shoulders. Couple breaths. Maybe a little bit lower. Extra challenge, lift up the heels, come up onto the balls of the feet. If you have that, see if you can lower all the way down. Maybe just balancing on the balls of the feet. Squeeze the inner thighs together, squeeze the knees together, squeeze the core. It's really important to protect our knees. See if you can lift back up. Heels come down, arms lift, forward facing fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, pause. Either stay here or hands behind the head. Creating a lot of back strength today. Maybe pause here or reach those arms forward. Maybe lean that weight forward so you're not sinking in those heels anymore. One more breath. Exhale, release. Begin to walk the hands back out, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the right knee and stack the hips. If you want, you can take a few hip circles here. I never pass up hip circles, so I think they look great. Come back to three-legged dog, inhale. Exhale, right knee towards that left elbow, so you're twisting over to the side. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, come through center and step that right foot. This time what we're gonna do is we're gonna come into warrior one. So step in that left foot slightly so you can bring it at a 45-degree angle. Right knee bent deeply. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands behind the back. Try to interlace the fingertips. Bring the wrists closer towards each other. Open up the chest, look up and back. Exhale, humble warrior. Chest comes in between the legs. Right shoulder brushes the inside of that right knee. Great, inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, humble warrior. One more time here, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We'll release our hands from this position and we'll frame our right foot. We're gonna come into a supported warrior three with an option for a full warrior three. You're gonna bring all of your weight into your right leg and just begin to lift up the back one, the left leg. For right now, hands stay down, try to point those left toes down. You can stay here or maybe you try lifting up one hand to heart center. If you're able, you can lift up both hands. And if that still feels good, kind of similar to what we did before in the half forward facing fold, is you can bring the hands either behind the head or extend those arms out in front. One more inhale. Exhale, hands come to the floor. Bring that left foot to meet the right. Forward facing fold, the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive, sweeping all the way up. If you want, take that back bend, reach up and back. And hands through heart center. Awesome job. Inhale, let's reach and lengthen. Exhale, let's sink back into chair pose. Hands overhead or hands to heart center, any choice, any variation you'd like. If you want, try to lift up those heels. Keep the inner thighs together, keep the knees together, and if you feel stable, maybe you want to try to lower again. Good, keep the core tight. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, heels down, forward facing fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant those hands and step back into plank pose. Lower all the way down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, let's bend that left knee and stack the hips. If you want, let's draw some big hip circles on this side. We'll come back to three-legged dog. Inhale. Look between the hands. Exhale. Left knee comes to that right tricep. So we're twisting over, really having to use that core strength. Inhale, we'll come back to the center. Exhale, look between the hands and step that left foot. We'll spiral that right foot down, maybe stepping it in a couple of inches. Getting ready for warrior one on the opposite side. Deep bend in that left knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Hands behind the back. Inhale, open up the heart, look up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Good, you're trying to draw your wrists closer together here. Inhale, we'll lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Left shoulder is coming on the inside of that left leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Last time here. Exhale, fold. Release fingertips, hands frame that front foot. Same process here. We're bringing all of our weight into that front leg. So just lift that back leg up and try to bring those toes pointed down. So your hip bones are actually facing towards the floor. From this position, maybe you begin to flatten that back and strengthen the core even more by bringing one hand up and then the other hand up. And if you have that, maybe hands behind the head or reach fingertips out front. The reason why it's harder to have your hands behind your head or out front is it's just more weight for your core and your back to lift. So you're building more strength and more stability there. One more inhale. Exhale, hands down. Right foot meets the left, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Begin to heel toe the feet apart, wider than the hips. Toes point out, heels in, and then drop your hips down from Malasana pose. You can stay here, or we're going to move back and forth between a forward fold and Malasana. In order to do that, all you're going to do is bring your hands to the floor. You'll bring those heels out as you lift. Exhale. Inhale, heels in as you come down. Exhale, heels out, lift. Inhale, heels down, open up the chest. So just feel that out for a few times. One more. And settle into your Malasana pose. Maybe hands to heart center. If this is too much for you, you can always bring something underneath your hips. And very slowly, hands come down, straighten those legs back up. Take that step forward if you need to. Forward facing fold, back at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Arms up overhead, palms touch, press the hips forward. And hands to heart center. We're going to do a little bit of a balance. Just practice here with tree pose, one of my favorite balancing postures as we think about really trying to cleanse the thoughts and how the thoughts are connected to the body and to the whole self. It's a really good pose to help us with that. So heels underneath the hip bones, lift the toes up. This is a fun exercise to do. If you find yourself bored in the next few days, try to ground each toe down individually. So maybe starting with that pinky toe, and the second, third, fourth, and fifth. Good. Lift the kneecaps up towards the ceiling. Tuck that pelvic bone in, so you're just kind of doing a little bit of a tuck here. Engage the core. Inhale, shoulders up, and then back down the spine. We'll shift our weight to our left foot to begin and bring that right foot at a kickstand posture. You feel good there, you can bring that foot to the inside of that right calf. Or if that still feels relatively easy for you and you're still able to open up that knee to the side, then bring that right foot to the inner side of the left thigh. What we want to avoid is putting any pressure on the knee. So if you're kind of in between states, you can hold on to this ankle. And once you feel comfortable, you can bring your hands out to the side, as some of you all are doing, or you can come to Anjali Mudra, back to heart center. You can even grow branches up overhead. I sometimes do reverse prayer. It's just whatever feels right for you today, whatever you need. When and if you feel ready, maybe even try closing your eyes. That requires you not to rely on your vision to keep you balanced, but rather it requires you just to purely feel. It's really hard, especially if you feel like your thoughts are cluttered. It can be harder to stay in your body. You fall out of it, just trying again. And as you're ready, let's slowly trace that right foot down the left leg and re-establish our foundation. Stand up nice and tall, and we'll try the opposite side. Weight into that right leg, left foot at a kickstand position. Pause there or come to the inside of the right thigh or right calf, or on the inside of the right thigh. And feel free to take your time. We're here for a few moments, so don't rush the balancing process. Good, and whenever you're ready, explore those hand variations if you'd like, and perhaps try closing the eyes. And maybe play around with lifting the right side of your mouth and the left side of your mouth. That's called a smile. It's okay to try that out too sometimes. It does help, even if you just force it for a moment. Great, and then as you're ready, let's trace that left leg down the right. And we'll just shake it out, release, come to find a seat on the mat. We're gonna take a wide-legged forward fold before we come down onto our backs. So just get yourself situated in such a way that you can spread your legs out wide here. Maybe bring your hands behind your hips to help lengthen through the spine. Good. Just inhale, about reaching through the crown of the head. And then as you're ready, maybe you can bring your arms up overhead. Of course, that takes that back and core strength that we've been working on today. And make sure your feet are flexed, toes pointed up. Inhale, and then exhale. You can begin to come forward, but you can pause and stop anywhere you'd like. You don't have to keep reaching the hands out front, but you can. You can drop the hands to the floor if that's better for you this morning. You can even use whatever sort of flooring you have in front of you to crawl your fingertips forward. I have this really shaggy rug right in front of me, so it's easy to kind of grip onto it. Just breathe here, focusing less on stretching and more on releasing any tight muscles. We'll keep our hands down low, but just begin to walk them over towards the left side. Maybe framing that left leg with both hands. And then we'll begin to walk over towards the other side. And then we'll walk back through center, walk your hands back up towards the body. We'll just close the angle between the legs. We'll take a seated little twist here. So bring that left leg towards the right hip. You're just crossing that leg underneath you. And then you're bringing that right leg over the left. Try to plant that right foot on the outside of that bent knee. Right hand behind the back. Inhale, reach and lengthen the left fingertips. And exhale, twist towards the top leg. So you look over the right shoulder. If it doesn't feel good to have your arm on the outside of the leg, you can also just hug that knee in towards the chest. And we'll slowly unwind here. We'll release the cross. Try to bring that right ankle towards the left hip. Press the left leg over the right. Left hand at the base of the spine. Inhale, reach and lengthen those right fingertips. And exhale, twist. Twists are so important when we're thinking about trying to cleanse our bodies or cleanse our minds. I think about wringing out the spine, kind of like wringing out a washcloth when you twist it up. Just getting rid of that extra stuff that we don't want. And we'll slowly unwind. We'll extend both legs out front, both arms out front, and come down one vertebrae at a time. And doing this slowly today, keeping the heels touching the floor, releasing one vertebrae at a time. All the way down. From this position, all that we're going to do is start to bend the knees from the heels and closer towards the body. And we'll end with a bridge pose, just to get one more little back bend opener through the heart today. So arms can either stay by the body, that's perfectly fine, but wherever you're at, you want to think about firmly planting the feet in the mat, really pressing down through the whole parts of the feet, and inhale, lifting the hip bones up. So you can either keep arms beside the body, but do your best to keep your knees in line with the hips, not letting them splay out too much. You really want to draw the knees in towards each other. It's just to help protect the knees. And then you can interlace the hands underneath the base of the spine and begin to roll over into one shoulder and then the other. Do your best not to look right or left. Keep lifting up through the feet, keep using the strength of the legs. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly come down. If there's any other posture or stretch you feel like you need to take before Shavasana, please feel free to do that now. Otherwise, I'd like to just invite you to extend your legs out long, arms out long, palms facing up, and eyes gently closed. As we fully exit the posture part of our practice, the movement part, try to fully enter this part of our practice where we're learning how to be still and be silent, how to refresh our bodies, minds, and souls. Maybe you can release the tension out from your legs more, Let your belly become soft as it just follows the cycle of the breath. No tension through the neck or the chest. Not holding any expressions on the face. Coming back to that breath if you need to find your focus. And we'll just stay here for a few moments of silence together before we end our time. And just slowly start to bring your attention back into the space. You can begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll around the joints. Make those breaths a little bit deeper and longer. Inhale, you can reach the arms up overhead, stretch long and tall, or drawing your knees in towards your chest and giving yourself a little squeeze. Rolling over to one side, pausing there, taking a moment just to give thanks and reminding yourself how to take what you've learned from today into the rest of your day, the rest of your weekend. And coming up to find that comfortable seat that we started with together, sitting up nice and tall and keeping those eyes closed. Together, we'll take one more deep breath. Inhale, arms lift up overhead, palms touch. And on your exhale, slowly lower your hands. Let them pause over the forehead, a symbol and reminder for us to have kind thoughts, to the mouth for gentle words, and to the heart for pure intentions. The light within me sees the light within each of you. Namaste.